Podcasts are now live right inside the YouTube Music app. You can listen and watch to all of the podcasts that have uploaded video and created playlists on their channel and labeled them as a podcast. We'll show you how to do that in a moment. Once you've updated to the latest version of the YouTube Music app, you'll see here in the Browse section that there's now a whole area just for podcasts. These podcasts can be video or audio. Also here in the app, you can add them to your library, and this way when you want to listen to your latest podcast, you can go to that tab and you'll see all the podcasts that you're currently following. Even on the home tab here in the YouTube Music app, if you click podcasts, it'll show you the shows you follow, new episodes of your shows, and there's even a recommended episodes area where YouTube will surface new episodes of podcasts you don't follow yet, but it thinks you'll enjoy. Scroll down even further and you can browse podcasts by genre like true crime, political commentary, comedy, and more. This is a big deal for podcast creators because discoverability is going to be increased if you have your content on YouTube. Someone browsing the YouTube Music app, listening to their shows, will have those recommended episodes right there on their home tab. I know for those who've done audio podcasts for a long time, it can be intimidating to add video, but we'll show you the easiest way to add video to your content. This way you can upload it to YouTube. Going back to the library tab, we can look at the podcasts we currently follow. Here you'll see the full list of episodes, and tapping an episode brings you into kind of the episode page. The description here is pulled right from the YouTube video. So unlike typical RSS feeds where you can do HTML or embedded links, here it's just going to be pulling from the YouTube video description, meaning links will be those full URL, HTTP, and all that. Right now, there is not a way to get an RSS audio-only podcast into the YouTube Music app. YouTube has said that you will soon be able to add your RSS audio-only podcast into the Music app using a submission process, but that's not available right now. If you want your podcast to appear in the YouTube Music app, you have to create a playlist on your channel and label it podcast. To do that, here in YouTube, I've logged into my account, and here let's actually go to our YouTube studio. Here in the studio, I can click the Create button, and you'll see there's an option to create a new podcast. I can set an existing playlist as a podcast or create a new one. Creating a new one, I can add a title for the show, description, and even the square artwork. Or if you already have a playlist of your full podcast episodes, go to the Content tab here in the left-hand sidebar, go over to Playlists, roll your mouse over the playlist, click the three dots, and you can click Set as Podcast. Once you've done that, that playlist will appear in the Podcast tab here in the YouTube Studio, and it will also appear in the YouTube Music app. Now, if you had a playlist where you were uploading full episodes to YouTube, but you had some terminology in the playlist name like full episodes, YouTube encourages you to remove those. Just name the playlist the name of your podcast. This way your podcast name can show up without something like full episodes or weird terminology after the title. Like other podcast apps here in YouTube Music, you can add an episode to play next or play later. You can go to the full podcast here from the episode. And one of the powerful features of having your podcast in the YouTube Music app is you can have listeners and viewers jump from the video version of your podcast over to the audio. It'll freeze the video, but it's still playing the audio in the background, and they can jump back and forth at will. So if they get in the car, they want to listen to audio only, they can flip over to audio. Now, typically, background audio was reserved for YouTube Premium subscribers in the YouTube app. That's still the case when you use the YouTube app, but here in YouTube Music, if you're listening to a podcast but you don't subscribe to Premium, you'll still be able to listen to that audio in the background without having the app open. You can also view the show notes, which again is the YouTube video description here. And again, speaking to discoverability, there's even a related tab of other podcasts and episodes right here when you're listening to a show. And bringing in some of those YouTube controls, you can even like and dislike this podcast episode right here on the Now Playing screen. Now, if you don't have a video portion of your podcast yet, you can do one of two things. Number one, you can upload a video file that just has a static image, maybe of your podcast art, and upload that to a YouTube channel, add it to a playlist and label that playlist a podcast, and your content will still show up in the YouTube Music app as a podcast. You'll see shows like even the New York Times The Daily is like that. The video version, it's just a static image of their podcast art. If I flip over to audio, it's the same thing. But if you want to increase your chances for discoverability and make your content more engaging inside the app, add video to your podcast by recording with Riverside. Riverside is your complete online studio that makes it easy to record with remote guests in high quality video and audio. Not only does Riverside make recording easy, but you can now edit your content in the Riverside editor with our new transcription-based editing. Delete individual words or full sentences, and it will remove it from the audio. Export your full-length 16:9 video directly to YouTube. This way that will be your full episode. And you can even export vertical clips 9:16 of your same podcast episodes, repurpose that content, and post it to the shorts of your YouTube channel, and that will increase your chances of being discovered even more. To learn more about recording with Riverside and our new text-based editor, check out this video above or the playlist in this video's description. And subscribe to the Riverside channel. We have lots of content on how to build a video podcast setup, the best USB mics to get started, and a ton more. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next video.